We're back. That's right. Less than 24 hours later, we're here to preview this weekend's Premier League games down in the Premier League. He's, of course, Matt. I'm, of course, Jason. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. The games are coming hot and heavy, as we've been talking about. And again, it's match week number 14. What's going on, Matt?
Yeah, it was. We were just talking a little bit of a little sweaty clean sheet with Liverpool yesterday. That was a fun one. That was a good winner. Had some
Mm-hmm.
good reads overall yesterday on the card for the most part. So yeah, let's see if we can kind of just keep reading it right.
Let's do that. Let's do it. Let's dive right on into it. Let's kick it off with the first team in action. Back to Selhurst Park we go, and we've got Liverpool coming into town. Matt, there's one team in the league that's cashed more unders than overs. With all the stats we've talked about, we know who it is, and of course, it's Crystal Palace. Again, they're the only team that's cashed more unders than overs. It's 9 unders to 6 overs is what they've cashed. Of course, we're talking about over or under 2.5. Now, there are other teams, or there are actually 5 teams in total that have goals per game at 3 or less, but Palace is the only one that's legitimately cashing more unders than overs. With Liverpool, I think it's going to be the same story and same kind of maybe analysis as yesterday. As it's generally a lot of quality. They're going to have all the ball. They're going to create. I didn't feel comfortable doing a team total yesterday against Sheffield, but that was a lot of that was also because of the manager change and what you're going to get from them. But I think Roy Hodgson's going to kind of be the same thing here at Selhurst Park. We've seen how all their games go. I'm not willing to do a Liverpool team total, but if I'm willing to pull the trigger, I guess I'm going back to another 90-minute sweat for a Liverpool clean sheet.
Plus 158.
Plus 158, I know, right? Plus 158.
I like it. I, I'm right. I'm right there with you. I mean, I think there's you're trying to think about the one thing that you got to just be aware of, especially around this time, is how much change things. If you saw the Jurgen Klopp interview, did you see that he kind of snapped back at the reporter
Mm-mm.
yesterday? Oh, it's funny.
Missed that one.
Like, because Jurgen always like kind of has like hated on the early 7:30 matches, especially coming off an international break, which I think is really understandable. A lot of people like to make fun of him about it, but he's truly just trying to protect his players and not have them get injured. In this one, I think that they should be able to rest, recover. I think it'll. Endo played fantastic yesterday. Kanate, Virgil were pretty good. Um, Gomez, Trent. I mean, I don't expect there to be a ton of changes for this one.
I don't expect there to
So
be not much. But
I mean, I think that Palace, like, they might be like a touch better on the counterattack than Sheffield, but I mean, I don't think that there's a ton here. Um, I mean, they're struggling to score. I mean, they couldn't score against Bournemouth. They were at home.
mm-hmm.
They couldn't score against Bournemouth, which is a different type of
It'll be a game.
one thing. It's a different type of game. Like, that Palace is going to get more possession. So that Palace is really going to struggle in possession, where they're going to enjoy their moments on the counter. Where that's kind of like Sheffield yesterday. They had a couple decent little moments on the counter attack because that's really their best. I mean, they don't want to have the ball in a sense. Like, they're not good with it. So um, I don't know. I mean, Palace, they have scored. I mean, they scored in every other match over the last 5. They scored against West Ham, Luton, Everton, Burnley, Spurs. They didn't score against Newcastle, though. I think that this Liverpool defense is strong enough. I think that this plus 158 price is pretty strong.
It is pretty strong. I'm wondering, Matt, if we're just maybe also overcomplicating it things because since Liverpool lost to Man City back in April, they've gained the most points in the Premier League. Obviously, that spans 2 seasons, a little bit of April and May, and now all of this one. But nobody's gotten more points in the league than Liverpool since that loss against Man City. The money line's minus 195. Why am I not just going to go find a minus one and essentially give myself the free roll? Because if Palace gets a goal, Liverpool can get 2 goals. If they can get 2 goals, Liverpool can get 3 goals. It's going to be one of those whatever you can do, I can do better kind of thing.
Yeah, let's. I mean, I think
Or a
we might
parlay
be
at
able to
minus 195. Just drop them in for sure a 2-teamer.
find.
They're
Can we
worthy of a
find a
2-teamer.
minus 3/4 so at least we would get paid out if they win the match by one?
I'm showing Liverpool minus 1 at minus 125 over on DraftKings. Let's check Bet Rivers, where, of course, you can get, generally speaking, better
A little bit
lines.
better. Yeah, their minus one would be
It's minus 120.
a lot. -120 on -1.
I'd hit it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been beaten by Crystal Palace in their last 12. Um, they're on a nice run. It's still, the last match between these two was a 0-0. But
It's always
Liverpool
tough for
still.
them to go to Selhurst Park. If I recall from his press conferences, and he'll do his sometime Friday, he always talks about how tough it is to go to Selhurst and their low scoring games.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, I can see that -1 pushing
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Like, but I mean, they did get the cover, yesterday by a margin.
A margin. A
But that was
margin.
against. That
But to
was
be
yeah,
fair,
that was.
Nunez doing what he always does. Man, if that dude could be clinical, they could have scored multiple goals that second half. Like, why
I
can't he
know
just finish a chance?
I like him so much more off the bench.
Ah,
He's electric. He's electric, and yeah, this is it's a tricky. It's not that tough, but like, do you trust Liverpool on the road? Because they have, like, I mean, if you go through Liverpool on the road, it's not that strong over the last. But like you mentioned, I do kind of like you bringing up that stat with, over the last, since that Man City defeat, because I mean that's really when Liverpool kind of have changed their formation and adapted this new Man City style of play.
mm-hmm.
Um, if you look
Sure
at
is.
only one, you'd be 2-5 if you bet Liverpool on the money line over the last 7 matches on the road.
Mm.
But I think that some of those were freaking fluky. The
One of
the
those was at
Tottenham,
City.
yeah, City, you can't fault that one. A point was great there. The Luton one was really bad.
Not really bad.
Um, the Tottenham one was really fake, kind of. I think that they dominated them, and then the 2 red cards, whatever. So yeah, you got to have some trust and faith in them for sure. But I more so like this price of the clean sheet.
They're 158. Yep. That
Yeah,
looks
the
really good.
150. I would rather play that, I think, than like a -190 money line in a two-team or something.
-192. Yep. Okay. All right, let's move over now. Let's head on over to the Molyneux Wolves. They're taking on Nottingham Forest. They're coming on into town. The one that I want to look at right here, the major stat. When I first looked at this, I was like, man, it kind of smells like an under. But let me just refresh what the numbers look like in the brain. Yeah, Wolves at home, second worst xG. They only create 1.04. Nottingham away, 18 in the Premier League, 0.82. So neither team putting up really much of a fight home and away, where this match will obviously be taking place at. And then defensively, you got to give it up to Forest. It's not all that terrible in terms of xG allowed when they go on the road. So the minus, or I looked up one book, it's -120. I'll need a price shop here, but I can't come off of this under right here. And I think our justification was proven right yesterday. We talked about Forest taking on Fulham. We didn't want a piece of Forest yesterday on the road. Why would I want them on the road against a club and the Wolves that is going to defend better than anything Fulham can do? I want the under again. I want the under 2.5, and I'm going to price shop it while you break it down.
Yeah, well, I mean, so here's the one thing that you would like about an under is because look, I mean, the Forest fans, everybody, they lost 5-0 yesterday to Fulham. I mean, that was a pathetic performance from Forest. And generally, if you want to back an under, I think it's always best to do it after a performance like that because look, I think that 5 goals from Fulham is a little fluky. But then what's on the mind of the manager, the players, the tactics for the next match. It's, can we play better defensively? That's the first MO. Like, let's get into our challenges. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
slide tackle. We're going to hold. In a good solid. Our formation is going to be good. We're going to be compact. And Wolves, you know, Wolves can't really. I don't think that they're great at breaking teams down. I think that they want to play on the counter. So you might have something with this under. You might really have something. I also kind of like Wolves a little bit. It's hard not to when they've been scoring in every match. Forest, I mean, they conceded 5 yesterday. They conceded and lost to Everton. They conceded 3 to Brighton at home. They conceded 3 to West Ham at home. So I mean, past a point, I would actually say like when you would think that defense would be on their mind, but it should have already been on their mind when you're looking at. I mean, they conceded 3 to Liverpool, then they conceded 3 to West Ham, 3 to Brighton, and then 5 to Fulham. I mean, there's some real defensive issues right now with Forest that would that would make me a little cautious on pulling the under 2.5 trigger.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you right there. The Wolves money line at around minus 115. I think Wolves probably pulls this match out again, fading Forest on the road. Here, in terms of, we talked about both teams are scoring over 2.5 hit in the Wolves matches, which is kind of why I liked over 2.5 in Wolves and Burnley, which played out to a 1-0 draw. You also see each season, I wonder if you're going to get a complete flip in that trend, because in the festive season, when the games come hot and heavy, you start to see unders come in. You get tired legs, weary legs from all the games every 3 days. These clubs don't play it. Your big boys do, but now your Wolves and Forest don't play every 3 days, anything they're accustomed to. And you get unders in the festive season. You saw it yesterday or 2 days ago in that Wolves-Burnley game. It was 1-0. Burnley didn't create all that much. Wolves really didn't create all that much. You just got the one goal there from Hwang. Pretty nice take by him there. I bet that the Wolves are going to kind of revert back to who we knew and who we previewed all last season when they were an easy under team. Impressive 11-run over, and both teams to score a run there of 11 straight games. But I'm thinking against Burnley was the turn of that flipping. I like the under here, and I just price shop. It's minus 120 over on Bet Rivers. I like it, but I like Wolves on the money line too. And obviously at minus 115, you can just take them straight up. Obviously, you don't need a parlay them or anything.
I think that Hwang is like also somebody that needs to be shouted out here, at a plus 200 type of price.
Wow.
For an anytime goal scorer. I mean, he is so clinical. He's the one that takes the pens, and Forest have allowed like 14 goals in their last 4 matches.
Wow.
I mean, right? I mean, look, they've conceded.
That's pretty bad.
They've conceded 12 goals in their last 4 matches, and we're getting someone that's in form like Hwang to score a goal here at 2-1. I mean, that price. I mean, that price is that's juicy enough for a take for sure. I like that.
What's the head? If the head-to-head is backs Wolves too, then I think maybe Wolves money line could be a little bit stronger. Maybe with some of the defensive issues. So we got a draw. We got a draw, a Wolves win,
Yeah,
a Wolves win.
EFL Cup. But like you look at last year in this fixture at Molineux in the Premier League, they won 1-0.
Yeah, classic.
I mean that's kind of what I would look to. Yeah, there was an EFL Cup match. They were both those were played at Forest. So yeah, well.
Yeah, the last 3 have gone under 2.5. This one's going under 2.5. I'm betting it. This one's going under.
Yeah, I do like it. You just need Forest to kind of grow up a little bit defensively.
Yeah, they will. To your point, when you get smattered 5-0, that's all the manager is thinking about these next 2 days on the training ground. Light sessions, obviously, is more recovery, but that is what he's thinking of. All right, let's go ahead and look at that now. Let's keep it let's go Sheffield. We got Sheffield and Brentford. This one, Matt, I'm feeling goals in this one. For some reason, I'm kind of feeling goals. Brentford gets on the score sheet yesterday at the Amex. They're taking on Brighton. Sheffield doesn't do much against Liverpool, but a really high-quality opponent and one that they were going to struggle on. They should have more of the ball here against Brentford as opposed to what they got against Liverpool. I am liking both teams to score at over 2.5, and I'm getting it at plus 118. I think this one is going to have goals. I'm here for it.
Ugh. I don't know why you would like that, I guess.
Sheffield's over. Did they just do the over 2.5 at minus 120 when it's cashed in 6 of their 8 home games? Chris Wilder is getting to the schedule. It's like, where am I picking up points? They brought me in here to pick up points and get them out of the relegation. Brentford looks like a good team to give it a go here at home.
Okay, so I was wondering, so that's a decent stat. 6 of 8 of their home matches have gone over. That's interesting.
I'm gonna look up their fixtures. Let me see. So here, look, is the next one. They got Brentford, and then they got Chelsea. They're getting 0 points. Then they got Villa. They're getting 0 points. Then they got Luton at home. Better give that one a go. And then you got City. They got to give it a go here against Brentford. This is at a home game because you're not getting anything out of the next two, and you're not getting anything out of City. So you better give it a go here.
I look at the plus. I look at the plus 176 on the clean sheet. I think that's a halfway decent look
Brentford a
for
clean
Brentford
sheet?
to keep. But what has Brentford been doing defensively? Like, can you give me a little XG numbers on their defensive
Brentford have only
abilities?
conceded 9 goals in 7 away matches. Not terrible. So I don't know what the XG is. Let's see what the XG is. They rank ninth best in the league at 1.62. Sheffield's dead last at home in terms of XG created, 0.83. So they ain't creating shit. There's a reason.
Sheffield's
Dead last.
I think this plus 176 number looks halfway deep. I do. I mean, I think
You
that
better
if you
go get another
were
stick of deodorant before you settle into this weekend games with all these clean sheets you're picking out. You need to go get another stick.
Yeah, I have really nothing on this, but I do think that price is decent. So that's where I'm at. I don't really have any interest betting this match. I don't have a good read on Brentford right now. They're kind of in a, you see Mbuemo, for example, he exited yesterday. That's a big missing piece. So that would be one real cause for concern, Jason, on your both teams scoring over 2.5.
Yeah, he is big.
Mbuemo is he's the best player on the team. He's so key. He's not playing.
All right, what about brought in the new manager, Chris Wilder? We're expecting the manager bump. Predictably, didn't get it against Liverpool. How about head-to-head the last 4 against Brentford? Sheffield double chances hit in all 4 of those against Brentford. Here comes your manager bounces plus money on the Sheffield and the double chance. Give it to me. It's going to be much better here at home against an opponent that they're familiar with. Cashed it 4 straight games. Wilder on the bump. Crowd's going to be rocking. Crowd's going to believe that they can have a fight in this one. Crowd didn't believe it yesterday. They were hyped up. Wilder was back in the dugout. They were excited to see him, but now they can believe that they can do it.
That. And then what's the price on a double chance here?
I got plus 110 without shopping. I'm on it.
Yeah. Like that, I think that's...
Manager bump's coming right here. We've watched soccer for decades, Matt. You know this manager bump is good for a few games, and this is within the few number.
Yeah, I mean, he was just appointed like the day before Liverpool, so it's like, he didn't even have any time for that one. Noah Mbuemo is super key.
That is huge.
Like I think like that would be one like where this will be a lineup checker for me. Noah Mbuemo, I mean, I would have to lean with you there. I'd have to agree.
So he's definitely out. You saw or you heard? I didn't catch that.
He exited the match in the 20th minute. Like he scored in like probably the 20th and then exited the match in the 30th. So I mean that's just when you're leaving that early, like you're not gonna manager in the holidays right around now. Like there's no way.
That double chance on FanDuel is minus money. DraftKings and BetRivers have plus money. I'm on it. Give me the manager bump. It's going to happen. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Let's look at another match. Brighton and Burnley. This was one I struggled with a little bit just because of Burnley. It's dreadful on the road. Can't get anything against Wolves, and we talked about how they're prolific on the both teams scoring over 2.5. Brighton games, though, with how they want to get up and press you, if you can break down the press, because they want to send the high press at you, if you can get around the press, then there's space in the midfield to operate, and that can then lead to some XG created. Can Burnley take advantage of that? Can Burnley get behind the press and create those open spaces? I don't know. I struggled with this one, Matt. This was one I definitely struggled with.
No, they can't. I'll tell you, like, they can't. They're a really hard watch. They had one chance. There was a very nice save from the Wolves' backup goalkeeper in the first half. I thought that Burnley could have taken the lead, and I probably would have cashed my bet. Because I truly, like, I know everybody was on Wolves. I mean, I don't disagree with that look, but I was looking straight at there has been 11 straight Wolves, both teams' scores. Like, this team is struggling defensively. If Burnley can't find it now, when are they going to be able to find it? And, I was sitting there just kind of holding the bag. Like, it's like, oh my God, I have to really watch this. Like, Burnley, like second half. Like it was awful. Um, so I think that this is a really nice spot for Brighton. Is it not? I mean, this seems like a really, really great spot. And, coming off a nice midweek victory, too. Like, I mean, they need this. They've kind of, they've been struggling over the last couple months. Like, Brighton really need this. And um, so let's see what we have on a price here.
Well, I was just going to say, is this your Liverpool Brighton money line parlay then?
I feel very good. Yeah. Yeah, I feel very good about Brighton winning this match. Minus 205. This would be one. I would feel better about taking Brighton -1 than I would taking Liverpool -1.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
Yeah.
I think that Burnley really struggle to score, and Brighton at home will create a lot of chances. I think that the Liverpool Palace match will be more of a grinder. You might not see as many goals. Um, so yeah, I think that Brighton -1 might be an official.
Brighton -1. I like the price. It's at -120. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
bad there. Basically the same price. And if you're right, I definitely would like them better just because it has been low scoring games at Selhurst Park when they hook up.
Yeah.
Is just seeing. Okay. And DraftKings is -135. Man, Bet Rivers always dominates soccer prices.
I know.
Always.
DraftKings is a freaking ripoff, and then I mean it's like just tax max. I don't know. That's crazy how they can be that far off.
Brighton -1. I like it. -1. All right. Are there XGs? Yeah, I mean, to your point, Burnley ain't doing much of effing anything.
Yeah, I don't think
They've only scored 5 goals on the road in 7 matches. They've conceded 13. And Brighton, yeah.
I mean, they've got this over 2.5 priced up. Wow. -170 on an over 2.5 when you really just can't bank at all on Burnley
contributing.
Yeah.
No, all right. Any injury concerns from that yesterday game? You mentioned about the Brentford side. Was there nothing? So I'm looking. They've got their long list of absentees, which has been their long list of absentees. Those are all the guys who have been out. So Deserbi will run back the same dudes.
See, I mean, yeah, there has been some concerns for sure. I'm really, yeah, they've one thing is this is a really nice spot for Brighton. They need this because I think that we can fade Brighton coming up. I want to find a spot to fade them because I don't think that this is the time. But my gosh, I mean, Solly Marsh out. I mean, he's been so good for them. And then you look at, and Stupinian is like, I think he's out for like the year or a long, long time. Tarek Lamptey, another fullback. Ansu Fati, a piece in the attack, a long time. That, hopefully they'll get Enciso back. Here's an October 20th quote. If everything goes to plan, I should be back by December, but we haven't heard anything yet. So, Danny Welbeck. So there's a lot of concerns with the Brighton team right now for sure, but this isn't the time to pick on them.
Yeah, well, go find out if they play Thursday, some God knows little country that you've never heard of in Europa League, and then go find out who they play then that Sunday in the Premier League. That could be your Brighton fade following weekend. I'm with you. True. They should be taking care of Burnley here. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Let's who's the next on next? Ooh, up on next is Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on Bournemouth. As a United fan, I got treated to the best performance of the season yesterday against Chelsea. Loved the 2-1 win there. Just everything. High energy, very fast. The ball was moving really quick. For once, they had the ball moving really good and with good pace. So. Love that right there. But Bournemouth, a team that you were high on yesterday, a team that kept the clean sheet, a team that got the victory at Selhurst Park. How about they've picked up a result in 4 straight? So this, on paper, looks like, this is United. This could be a United smash spot. But Bournemouth has turned the corner a little bit here with the result in the last four. It's going to be tough. I love some of the big numbers that you're getting. You're getting, plus 168 on United to score 3 goals at home against Bournemouth. Looks good. You're getting them at plus 290 to score 2 goals or more in the first half. Like, they're giving you some big prices. They look pretty tempting. But will Bournemouth continue this little tick of form here? That's what's got me a little bit nervous. Villa did get 2 past Bournemouth, only got 2 past Bournemouth, and I like their offense better than United. Obviously, Sheffield didn't get anything. And then Newcastle, that was the game where they didn't get anything. They actually lost 2-0 to Bournemouth. So too much of a little bit of an uptick in performance by Bournemouth to make me take a chance at some of these nice prices. If United wants to do that same performance, though, that's what you haven't gotten out of this United team. You haven't gotten any consistency. But if they bring that same performance against Chelsea, yeah, they should roll over Bournemouth and cover a margin and win something, 2-0, 3-0, maybe a 3-1. But I don't know if they can bring it multiple times in a row because they haven't shown that consistency.
It was a perfect breakdown from you here because, yeah, you just can't fully trust them yet. I mean, and this is one of those classics. Like, you got a big match against Chelsea, one of your big rivals. You step up for that match. They look great. And also, Chelsea, what have they really been this year? Inconsistent. So, I mean, Chelsea were poor yesterday, I thought. But I thought United were good. I think that Bournemouth is going to be I think that it's very possible that Bournemouth is a more difficult match than Chelsea. That, it's also a little bit of a let-off match. You do step up for Chelsea. All right, now you've got Bournemouth coming in, who's in a pretty good way here. I think it's just a clear I just think it's a clear no bet. If you made me bet it, I would take Bournemouth +1 because I actually think that they're good, and I think that they could keep it close. But I mean, I think that United should win this match. I don't know. From a total perspective, I mean, you could look both teams to score in over 2.5, maybe. That would make me look.
That one gets you. United have covered the team total over 2.5 in 3 straight at Old Trafford against Bournemouth. They have covered it in 3 straight, and also it's you do kind of. I wonder how much is this in the back of the mind. I really don't think Galatasaray Copenhagen is going to follow suit and help United end in a draw, but then you do get Bayern around the corner. And is this a play Chelsea, look down to Bournemouth with Bayern coming into town either Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever that is?
I think so. I mean, that, yeah, it probably is. I mean, this is still Bayern coming into town, and you still have a chance to get out of your group is the truth of the matter. I mean, you have your shot. And you're playing Bayern, like a team, a big club. So, yeah, this is that is definitely a little concern. And also, I mean, what a nice little boost for Bayern too. They only play, they probably put Bayern on the Friday match.
Oh, the Bundesliga. Oh, they all
I hate how these other leagues
they help them out tremendously.
I hate how these other leagues, like every time PSG have a Tuesday Champions League match, Ligue 1 schedules them for Friday night. It's like right. They just get this little extra edge. I know that's happened with Bayern before in the past, but United had Chelsea, then United have Bournemouth, and then so at least 3 straight Old Trafford matches though.
There you go. What's Bournemouth +1? You're going to get a big price. Everybody's going to be on United heavy after what they did to Chelsea and how they did what they did to Chelsea.
Bournemouth +1 is +100. I don't think. Yeah, I think that you could find a lot worse in a 2-team parlay than a Bournemouth +1.5 at -165.
Yeah, the 1.5 in a parlay. I like it.
Bournemouth +2 in a parlay -335. I think that those are all pretty valid plays. I like Bournemouth's front 4. It's not bad. I think that Solanke's okay. I'm really impressed. Every time I watch, I think his name is Semenyo.
Yeah.
He's like the winger, bulkier. Yep. He's like a bulky, really strong winger. I like his game. and they've got that Justin Cliver, I think, and Sinistera was at Leeds last year. He's a pretty good player. So they've got they've got some guys.
Under 3.5 shots on target by Bournemouth is plus 120.
Under
Interesting.
3.5 on target.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Oh,
Chelsea only got three. I mean, Everton get? Everton got six. Anyways,
that's a good point.
interesting. Hmm. Okay. I'm not. I don't have a bet for that one yet, but that one's too. Just don't know if I can trust United. Wish this was in a little. Saw a little bit more consistency, and then at home against Bournemouth, I would take a stab at a 290 price. I would take a stab at a plus 168, but I don't know if I can quite get there. Let's go over to Villa Park where Aston Villa's got another big game. See if they can back it up with another team here with Arsenal coming into town. Not a carbon copy of Man City by any stretch. They do things a little bit different, but Arteta was up under Guardiola for several years, so there is some similarities in how they want to attack you. Can Villa pull it off in two consecutive matches and say, "No, we're here. We are in the top four. Now we're firmly up in this thing, and maybe we can give this thing a go from a title perspective." Can they do it?
Yeah.
Plus 250 for Aston Villa, plus 108 to Arsenal, plus 265. I was on the over yesterday. Obviously, the over did not hit. The over looks again today. I love Villa at home. I love Arsenal any goddamn place. I mean, they're always going for it. Even at the death against Luton, they're still going for it. So I like the over here. I would expect goals. I would expect both teams to be able to contribute. But I'm really going to want to see if Villa can do it again.
Yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game to bet. I mean, Villa, you kind of want to trust this home. I mean, talk about a nice home trend. Nobody's got a better one right now.
Mm-hmm.
No one. Arsenal won home and away last season, though. These two teams aren't that much different. Um, 14 consecutive home wins. Home wins. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say that I would believe in Arsenal to be able to get the job done more than City yesterday.
Because
I
they
think
don't
that
have their
Arsenal,
injuries. Because they don't have the injuries.
yeah,
They've got all their
yeah,
guys. Where City is
Arsenal
a little
right
bit.
now. I think Arsenal right now for sure are in the best way of any team in the league. They're in that. They're in that. But Villa would be probably number two, followed by like a Liverpool. Like I think that those are the teams that are really in form here. Um, I don't. I. It's really hard to come up with something after watching yesterday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going
I
to
think
hit the
it's
over
different.
2.5 because they don't have the injury concerns. And I'm not saying that's the reason why I didn't cash my bet yesterday. I still like it. I mean, still had all the guys across the top, but it is starting to challenge their depth a little bit at Man City. And I kind of like the over
I will say,
2.5.
you know, Tomiyasu for Arsenal is going to be out for a little while for a good amount, and that's a big piece at that back line. So now you bring in this like you either go with Kuar, who then hurts your offensive side, or you go with Zinchenko, who can absolutely be exposed defensively by like a winger like a Diaby or the guy who scored the goal yesterday, the Jamaican. I always forget his name, Leon Bailey. Um,
You don't like
so
Zinchenko? I love Zinchenko. I mean, he plays the
I
Trent
do.
role. He plays the John Stone. He comes up in the midfield. I love him.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like Kuar hurts them offensively when he starts versus Zinchenko, but he is more solid at the back. Zinchenko can be kind of got at defensively. He's not. He's a midfield player, truly. Um, so yeah, this is that would be one area that I would be a little bit worried about if I was Arsenal to see where they go there. I'd love to see like that's something I want to see in a lineup check. Well, who are they going? Are they going Zinchenko? Are they going Kawar? Do they want more solidity? Or they want to be more expansive? I would assume they would probably go with Kawar on the road here. They did at the week the last match. Zinchenko came on,
Mm-hmm.
so um,
That surprised me a little bit,
it's a
considering
really
it
tough
was
bet.
Luton.
I could absolutely, it's a pretty decent call, but I hate calling these because it's just very fluky-ish. I absolutely see a draw here.
You know what? I'm got my phone up here and I was looking up the double chance on Villa or Arsenal. It was 335 because the last 16 head-to-heads, how many draws have there been, Matt?
There have been
16 head-to-heads. Last 16, how many draws have there been?
I don't know.
Zero.
There have been zero draws
Zero.
between.
That's why I was looking up the double chance of either team to get the win. I was minus 335 because there's been no draws in 16 head-to-heads. I'm thinking an over 2.5, and you know what? You get burned yesterday, go back to the well. It's okay. You get great numbers from both sides. Aston Villa up in the third place. They hooked this. They're 1 point behind Arsenal. Arsenal's going to be feeling it. They can be got at. I mean, shit, on set pieces. Luton got their first goal. You just got to defend better. You got a free header on that first goal there by Luton. They got to defend better.
This one's going to be a draw. I'm calling it. This is a draw match.
Draw match. What's that big price then? 265.
Plus 265 on Bet Rivers.
Plus 265. All right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that looks probably like the strongest.
All right, to Goodison we go. Let's head on down to Goodison Park. Chelsea's coming on into town. Sean Dice up against Pochettino in this one. I definitely am not going to be betting this one because I want to see Everton today up against Newcastle. So this was a little bit tougher to break down because they haven't played their midweek game yet. Obviously, you saw Chelsea. You could say they were bad, but United was awfully really stinking good in that game. I don't know. So this is just tough because we haven't seen Everton against Newcastle. You were expecting an over in that game. I'm a little undecided on that one. If Everton Newcastle hits the over, I bet Everton Chelsea hits an over. So I'll be watching today. If it's an over today, I'm going right back to it.
I was just about to say it. I am on the both teams to score an over 2.5 today. And I can tell you right now, I was just thinking the same thing. If I get exactly what I'm seeing and I cash my wager today, that wager will just be rolled over into the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's how I see this match. I see Everton as being still halfway decent with XG numbers. They've got Calvert-Lewin. I like it when he's in. And I still believe Chelsea, they bagged one yesterday at Old Trafford. I still believe they can bag one with what they've got up front. So put it all together, I see that match being very, very similar as today. I mean, how can you not? Everton.
Plus money price on that. I just looked it up. Plus money on every book. Both teams scored over 2.5.
I have to say the market is just off on Chelsea, though, aren't they? They've got Everton as a bigger dog on Sunday to Chelsea than they do today to Newcastle. And that is, you cannot agree with that. There's no
Newcastle's
way.
way better. Newcastle's way better than Chelsea.
I mean, what are we talking about here? Look at that. Look at the disagreement on the market rating Newcastle lower than Chelsea.
Who's got
some?
Whoa. See, this is why, Matt. If you look at the away table, Newcastle's all the way down to 16th place. I say it all the time. It's not the same home and away team. They're all the way down to 16th on away table only. They've only got one win away from St. James's Park. They're awful on the road. They don't have that crowd.
Yeah.
I still think
it'll be interesting to see.
Wow.
Today's match is very interesting, I think. Everton, and I'll be watching that one. I'll have them both up. I'll be going dual screen for sure.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch the first half uninterrupted, and then have the dual screen come second half. But yeah, the first half should be full go. That's interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting point because we all like Newcastle over Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
If both teams are scoring over 2.5 hits today, I'm running it back on Sunday in this fixture, and I can get it at plus money.
Yep.
I'll be running it back. Another matchup, Fulham. They're in action today against West Ham. I'm thinking about just taking West Ham money line. I have no idea what the price is, but not West Ham, Fulham. Fulham.
Money line.
West Ham's too leaky. We'll have an extra day of rest if we're a Fulham supporter, having played yesterday.
Fulham at Craven Cottage too. They've been pretty good there over the last 2 seasons.
They haven't. The over 2.5 is at minus 110. I like that.
What's Fulham home on the home table?
Fulham on the home table is a top 10 side. They sit 9th place.
I bet you that they were a top 10. Can you click to last season on that too?
Last season, we can click it. Let's see. Last season they were 12th at the end of the day. They were 12th when it was all done.
Yeah, they were. I thought that they were strong there last year. Yeah, another one where we want to see what West Ham do today a little bit, but yeah, Fulham. Fulham. It won't be as easy as it was for Fulham yesterday, for sure. I mean, West Ham is a decent side. Forest is not really a decent side, so um, I'll just stay on the fence on that one for now.
Yeah, and another one I think is really going to be tough because I want to see what Newcastle can do at Everton. If Newcastle struggles at Everton, when they go to White Hart Lane on Sunday to play Tottenham, I'll be interested in that Tottenham money line because it's just going to continue showing their struggles away from St. James's Park. Tottenham at home, they should be great. Ange Ball is obviously fantastic. I don't know if I can go into full-on overs with Newcastle on the road like I can at home, so I'll be looking. If Everton picks up a result, I'll be liking Tottenham here on the money line at home Sunday.
Yeah. Um,
What do you got for Spurs Newcastle?
yeah, I definitely now like I love how we've got these matches today to be able to really analyze because then we've got
Yep.
these counter matchups. Really, I mean, you got this Everton Chelsea, this Fulham West Ham. West Ham go today. Spurs Newcastle. Both teams playing today. So um, I would be with Newcastle right now. Currently, I just think that Newcastle are a much better side than Spurs. I disagree that it's yeah, the market then is also saying that Villa are stronger than Newcastle because Villa were plus 160 to plus 150 on the road against Spurs. Maybe that was because of the center halves being out. This is a new price with Romero, and he's worth 10 or 20 cents, which he probably is. And yeah, I don't know. This is a complete question mark right now with this match today, but yeah, I'll try to send out my plays on Twitter this weekend when the lineups drop.
But you like Newcastle. You don't give a shit where they play. You're just like Newcastle. You don't care if they're away
I
from
just
home.
like
You like
Newcastle.
them.
I just like. I mean, look at how can you not? They freaking beat PSG um, at home. They should have beaten them on the road.
That game
Uh,
should have been
and
0-0. That was a terrible goalkeeper mistake by Don. He spilled that out in the middle of the. I mean, you can't. You can't. That's just that game should have been 0-0. Actually, no.
that run
PSG had tons of chances. PSG should have won that game.
they
If we're
did.
being honest, they
Yeah,
had chances
yeah,
galore.
yeah. They created a lot of XG there, but still, they were able to dig out a result there. And well, I don't know. I like their manager more. I think that they're more battle tested. Newcastle's more battle tested.
Yeah, I do love Eddie Howe. All right, let's catch this last game then. It's at Luton Town, taking on Manchester City. This one, I know Manchester City's been struggling. Now they haven't gotten a result in four straight. Obviously, this is a get right spot here, taking on Luton. You saw what Arsenal was able to do midweek. They got 2 goals in the first half. I like this price. FanDuel is giving me 2 or more goals at plus 166 for City to score 2 or more goals in the first half.
What do
I
you
don't.
have on an over 1.5 in the first half?
Oh, okay. That's yeah. I got it at minus 105. So you think Luton may contribute? You don't want to put it all on City? I'd rather go for that
I mean, City,
166.
City's been freaking conceding left and right. Like I'd love to go into say, okay, this is the game where Holland, like he's playing Luton, like he's going to get back on track and score a hat trick.
It's
But
a small
I
club.
mean,
It's
dude,
a small club. He didn't do anything. He was invisible yesterday on the field. Couldn't even find his ass. I have no idea where Holland was at outside of that
he
opening
should
header.
dominate. I mean, but he has been weird, and he's completely unbackable right now. And so are Man City, and so is this match. Except for I do kind of like your look, either like City score two, or just kind of just go a little bit more pragmatic and just go with an over 1.5 at plus 100 minus 105.
Mm-hmm. Um, I'm going to be interested to listen to his press conference tomorrow and find out if Doku is going to come back in. Although Bernardo and Foden, that's not something like I looked at yesterday and was all upset about. I had wingers of Foden and Alvarez or Bernardo, so I was like, oh okay, that's generally fine. Rotary obviously does come back into this one. They had 43 straight games of unbeaten with him. Their last 4 games without him, they haven't been able to secure the victory, but he's going to come back into this squad. We know Luton. We know from Crystal Palace, and now they have 30 goals conceded. 22 have been in the second half, so they have been a team that's kept it close second half, and then it opens up in the second half and more goals come in. This is always a different beast, obviously, when you involve City. I'm going to take a stab at that 166.
I like it.
I don't see it. I'm gonna toss them up on here. Toss what I've got up on the screen, what I'm comfortable sharing. I'm gonna do it. This is what I'm rolling with, Matt. I'm gonna do that first half. I'm just gonna put a half a unit on it because City is in whatever shape they're in, but you can't give me plus 166 against a true bottom ass beater against Man City. So I'll take it for a half a unit. I'll take that under in Wolves Forest. I'll take the over in Villa Arsenal. I'm taking Sheffield on the double chance. I like them, and then I'll take that Brighton -1. Taking on Burnley.
I'm going to go with Palace to not score.
You're doing
that
it.
plus
okay.
1.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Brighton -1 at -120. And that is probably going to do it. I do maybe like a little – I think I might take a little stab at a draw on Villa Arsenal. I mean, 17 straight, no draws. It's due, isn't it, Jason?
It's due. I don't know. Probably would have said that last match, and then a draw didn't happen, and you would have lost your. It's always due. It's due.
I don't bet.
This is where stats totally everything's its own independent event. Trends are cool, but everything's its own independent thing.
True. I do think that a draw makes a lot of sense when you look at Villa unbeaten at home in like 26 of their last 30 matches. Arsenal really strong. Should be able to put together a good road performance. I don't know. I think that one, it'd be a real sweat, but I do think that a draw is very, very, very live in that game.
And I would say definitely stay tuned to me on Twitter. If that Everton Newcastle hits both teams score over 2.5, I'm grabbing that plus money extremely fast, and I will send that tweet out. I will be on running back that same match. I think it's a good play, but I just want to see how it unfolds today up against Newcastle. So, all right, Matt, there we go. There's this weekend in the Premier League. Match week number 16, almost halfway through the season. So enjoy those games this weekend. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Of course, good luck with your bets. We'll see you back here next Thursday to preview next weekend's games. Have a good one.